It is a dreary day outside, and I just thought this would be a good day to do a little video. And I wanted to have one video on my channel that's just devoted to washi tape because I love making it. I sell it in my shop. I have more coming, so I just thought this would be a good time to get some ideas out for everyone to use in their own studios at home. You can really do so much with washi. It's just so fun to use and play with, and we all love to collect it, but then I feel like a lot of people are like, now what? What do I do with this tape? So I'm going to give you a whole bunch of ideas. So they're really great for art journaling and junk journaling, stationery addicts. So the main way that I love to play with washi is using it in my art journals. So I thought I would just create one quick page this way because it's how I use it the most. So when I do anything in my Jaya journals, which are the main journals that I like to use, I am doing, so it's journal into your art if you don't know, but essentially I want to write in my journals, but just get rid of the blank page. So washi is a great way to do that. Washi can do wonders as just as a border, like on this previous page. It just takes the edge off. Okay, now it's not blank. I can add to it. But another way that I've been using washi for a long time is to create what I like to call is journaling lines. So I'm doing this kind of fast, so it's not coming out as straight as I would like, but let's pretend that I'm doing this perfectly straight. And essentially, I'm just taking the washi, pushing it in on the crease of my signature there. You want to have enough so that when the pages turn, you can have like a crease already there. If you do it too tight here, it's gonna start to come up. So you just want to leave yourself enough space. So this is a fun way to create some journaling lines. So normally it is a little crooked, but let's just pretend it's awesome. So what I would do with a page like this is do some sort of quote. So, you know, I might do something really large here in like a paint pen or a marker. And I'm just using the full width of the space to do my writing. So this is one of my most favorite ways of using washi. It just gets me out of my head. I don't have to think too much. And I can really just start writing. I might outline my letters a little bit and make them stand out, but I don't have to do any thinking. You know, I've got these lines. I'm going to come up with a quote or just journal something really fast. And it looks really fun. So I'll go through and do, you know, finish the writing. So that's one way. As a border is another way. And then another fun way is to create, let's see, I'm trying to look for like a pretty scrap of paper. This is kind of pretty. To create windows and doors because it's kind of flexible, right? So that looks pretty. Trying to find one that I like. So I'm going to get another piece of tape here. And again, I'm working fast. I'm not shooting for perfection here. And I'm going to put this down on my page. Always construction going on. My partner is putting woodwork up all over the house. Let me just straighten this out. This is the great thing about washi. It's not permanent, so you can pick it up, lift it, and move it around. Now, if you want it to stay down permanently, then I do recommend just running some glue stick over it in underneath it, and it will hold it down. So I like to put it on both sides so that you don't see the fold here. So now I have a nice little flap in my journal. So just another fun way to play with washi. Another simple way, and I would do paper clips. People have been doing this for years. I'm sure I'm not the only one to think of this. And I don't have any normal paper clips because I have a child who's obsessed with stationery. And so he took all my paper clips. I just have these fancy ones, which are quite lovely. So, you know, let's imagine, you know, it's a regular paper clip. Like here's a nice edge. I think I'm going to do it up here though, because I want to be able to see the shape. I'm going to trim it. I'm going to do it on this side. It'll just look nicer because then you can understand what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to pull it through and fold it over. So I'm going to line it up so that all the sides match perfectly. Okay. Now you can leave it like this, right? Because this would look cool sticking out like that. That's totally fine. Or you can give it a little tail, okay? And then that can look great in your journal as well. See how pretty that looks sticking out. So another fun way to use it in your journaling. Another gifty way, I don't have any brand new pencils. So this is good if you have just like a fine print washi like this. This is just a continuous pattern, which I'm sure you do because we all have too much washi. You just tilt it a little bit at a time and pull it real tight against your pencil. This makes like a nice stationery set. Just think about it. You could line some stationery pages and wrap the pencil around with the washi. I'm going to try it here. And I'm just going to do it right around that. And I'm just going to give it like a little rub. Look how pretty that is. You have a beautiful pencil. I'm going to experiment. So I have this washi here, which I still have quite a bit of in my shop. Now, because this pattern is like that, what I'm going to do is do it the long way. And just see how that turns out. And you can sharpen this, like even though I'm putting it on a pencil, because it's paper, if you go to put your pencil in the sharpener, it should sharpen with no problem. Okay, so that way you can still see this image. So we'll just do the same thing on this side. And I could, if I wanted to, I could trim it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it, because when it covers, it's still going to look the same. So you still get the image. So I'm just going to push down on all the seams. And then you get the pencil that way. Look at that. Another cool thing you can do with washi. I mean, I could be here all day. Okay, another fun one is to get a piece of cardstock. So I have one that's pretty thin. You don't want like the super like 90-pound cardstock for this particular one, because it's just it's not gonna work out. So I'm just gonna put a bunch of different colors on here. I'm gonna stay in the same color story. You don't have to, you can mix it up. But I'm just trying to be, I don't know, monochromatic, I guess. So I'm gonna do a bunch of tapes here. Okay. And then I'm going to flip it over. Nope, I'm going to do a couple more because it's not long enough. I can just tell by looking at it. Let's see now. I'm going to do one more. Here's some green. Okay. All right, so I'm going to flip it over. I know the general space, you can kind of hold it up to the light if you need to. That's why having a thinner piece. Oh, look, I'm going to use one of my pencils that is wrapped in washi. It would help if I did this in the frame. And I'm going to trace this bird shape. Okay. Now I'm going to cut her out. Look at this marvelousness. This is just so fun. And you know, again, I'm not showing you anything new here. I feel like a lot of people have done some of these because we all experiment with our washi, and I'm sure everybody's kind of playing around. But it couldn't hurt to just put it all in one video. And then you have this beautiful little shape made out of washi. Now I'm going to show you another one that is fun to try. So I'm going to do, again, I'm just going right up to the edge of my paper. The only reason is so I can kind of, tell where everything is. So when I go to do my next shape, if I could get this to come off, that would be great. Here we go. Oops. I'll do one more. Okay. Now I'm going to just trim this so I can kind of see a little better. Now I'm going to take a paper punch, and you can do any shape you want. I should have gotten out my circle punch, but you could do washi on paper and then cut out a bunch of shapes, and you can do really cool things with those shapes. Like if you do circles or hearts, and you could do a whole series of those, that is awesome. Looks great. Another fun one to try, which I've done before. Again, this is one of the first videos on my way back on my Instagram, like 4 years ago. I did this. I like to use washi and make little banners with the washi. So I've done a couple videos on that, but I just thought might as well pop it up here. So all you do, I like to use just like a thin piece of twine, and that's not a good size. And I would do a good 1.5 to 2 inches. And then we're going to do similar to the paper clip. We're going to fold it over and then do the little triangle fold. That looks pretty weird, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to do another one. And it really doesn't matter like what the print on the washi is. If you mix it up, it looks just as great. If you do it all monochrome, it looks just as great. It's really up to you. I just love doing this stuff because it's just so fun to play with what you already have and, you know, use it in different fun ways. How fun is that? This, and so you could just keep going, right? So this could be fun to have on hand, again, for cards, for journaling, for wrapping gifts. It's just super, super fun. Or even like 3-dimensional collage. I love, love, love making these little banners. Super, super fun. So that's yet another washi idea. And then another one that I kind of already did, but not really. So it's similar to the one that I showed you a minute ago, but I just want to share one other kind of tweaky thing. And I'm using all my washi. So I still have some in the shop right now. I have this Frida one and then this blue one. They're just in there by like numbers. This one I'm doing stripey just to be fun. Okay, so I have these tag stencils and these tab stencils. I think this is called journaling templates, something like that. And these are great to do with washi. So again, you know, you can trace the tag shape and then cut it out. Dude, I don't like how that little piece just came off. Yeah, came off there. And then you can punch a hole and to be extra realistic, you can take a reinforcer label, which I always keep on hand, and put it around your little circle. And then you could add some fringe. You can even, oh my gosh, I forgot. I used to do this a lot too. You can even make washi ribbon. So make a piece longer than you need it, like twice as long, I would say. And then fold it in the middle. You have to line it up. I'm going to do this because, okay. it's probably easier if you trim it in the middle. That's my problem. Okay. So we're gonna line it up. And then push it over. So again, you can get a longer piece. And then just trim the edges. So now you have this double-sided thing, right? So what do you do with that? I like to crinkle it up. Again, I'm pretty sure I did a video on Instagram years and years ago about this. But you crinkle it up just because it's so stiff. So now it's got some Tyvek kind of feeling, right? And, you know, if you want to make it thinner, you can do that. And now, this might be a stretch because it's real small, but let's see. I can stick it through my hole here. Just wait for it. Open it up. You have to be careful because everything is paper. So if you pull too hard, you're gonna tear it. So I'm gonna stick it in. Okay, there's one. I know this doesn't look great yet. Okay. Gonna just pull, I would just pull one side at a time. See, I just tore it out. But let's pretend I didn't. There you go. And then you have a little washi ribbon, right? Super cute. Gotta be careful though, it's paper. So I'm heavy-handed, so that's why I probably broke. So what did we come up with? We came up with paper clips, pencils, tags, and tails on tags, using your cutters, right, for cutting out shapes. I just picked a journal one, but tracing the back and doing any kind of shape. I like doing this for trees. Oh yeah, I had one started here. Hold on. I started one here for a tree. Animal shapes, you can make it into a double-sided ribbon. And then let's not forget for journaling lines, for borders, and for flipping. One other one, this is just going to be the longest video ever because I'm going on tangents. It's just so fun. And I've also done this one like a million times, but I just have to show you my favorite way of doing it of all time. I like using washi, oops, to make fake postage. So what I do is I take a piece of washi. So I'm using one that has like an image on it because that looks more postage like. And I am just taking hair thinning shears, which you could probably get at any pharmacy. There's a woman on Instagram called Juicy Christians, Natifa. She did this once. So this, I got this from her. She's got a great Instagram account, and she was cutting out some Tim Holtz postage that she had stamped with these scissors. But anyway, you can make postage stamps. So I think that's, you know, a lot to go on, but I hope you have some fun using washi in all your art projects, and we have plenty in the shop. More is coming. And yeah, I hope I gave you some ideas to jumpstart your creativity.